Anybody can go in and make sure that I got audio check on Mixer, please, guys. If you could do me the favor.
Audio check
What's
on
going on,
Mixer.
brother?
I'm saying
Check
to
one.
somebody in my house. You guys are good.
Check, mic check.
Good ear.
Yeah, we're on. All right, people. Yeah, okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I'm back. It's me, your boy, Hebot, and I'm trying to bring another exciting episode of We Got Next. And of course, you guys know I've been kind of away for a little while. I've been in hiatus, but that's because life is more important than anything else, because everything else is trivial. But a lot of things have happened since then. We've lost a lot of loved ones. We've been trying to get better. People have gotten sick. That's trying to get, readjust. And, like I said, life is something that is more of a priority, even though we love gaming and we love doing things like this as part of our gaming culture and our gaming hobby, and from the histories that we've been doing this for so long. So guys, welcome back. My usual suspect and co-host, the new Legal, is obviously not here tonight because he's on a business trip, so big shout outs to him. But I had the fortune to be joined by not only one co-host, but four distinguished gentlemen. And why I call them distinguished? Because they are very professional, very intelligent, and they are not they're not here to try to create drama for the sake of being trolls or because they have nothing else better to do. They actually enjoy gaming and respect it, and their opinion and their voice has always been very well respected by me and appreciated, because I know they are like me. They take things that they appreciate, that they love from their heart, just as much as I do, with a different perspective, right? As it should be. So we're talking about XO 2019, held in London by Xbox, Microsoft, and I want to say who's here with me tonight. So tonight I'm being joined by none other than the great, and obviously he's been away for a while because of very personal reasons, but he is gladly joining me here today by the legend himself, Master Chifa. Please introduce yourself.
What's up, guys? What's up?
And none other than the donkey of Xbox, my boy and my brother, E-Rock 187, or E-Rock X as we all know now. Introduce yourself, brother.
Hey guys, this is E-Rock X, the Don King of Xbox, the hype man for the Xbox brand, and the meanest man on YouTube. And it is great to be back here on Mixer, great to be back on this format. And when you're 50, getting old and gray, it's good to be seen on any format. So I'm here, I'm ready to get it rocking. And I'm glad to be here with you guys. I haven't talked to some of you guys in years, like Tuck and Sherman, and my friend Master Chief, and my good buddy Hebot, and I'm glad to be here, fellas.
Awesome, and I'm glad that you were able to join us. I'm glad I was able to make this happen, even if it's just for a brief moment. And obviously, we got the man that holds no punches, the original pony killer himself, DGS Tuckmaster, is here joining us today, ladies and gentlemen. Tucky talking.
Hey, baby, let me tell you right now, man. This is the original pony killer. I can't stand Sony, never will like Sony, and that's all it is to it. But all I gotta say is this, E-Rock. See, you 50, I'm 53, so you make me seem like I'm ancient.
Oh boy.
So I understand.
There's about 300 years of gaming knowledge in this podcast, right?
Oh my God.
Come on.
Or about 250.
And I gotta add this. The insult. I'm telling you. And you know what I'm about to say. That damn Death Stranding game ain't
Oh, here we go. Hold it.
Hold it,
show, my brother. I mean, he's already going in.
You mean Reedus with Fetus?
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all put everything intelligent
Oh,
I don't pay no attention to stuff these guys. Because these guys, they don't know how to be, they don't know how to take the intelligent approach.
Oh boy,
Let's
here we
get
go.
this game, so let's get this thing started anyway. So I'm just glad to have all y'all.
Oh my God.
Lead us with the fetus. Oh my God.
In typical DJ Tuck Master fashion, you know, he has to start before the show even starts. You know how it is. So yes, and last but definitely not least, my brother from another podcast. To be honest with you, you know, I'm so delighted that he's here with us tonight. He's what I call the Luther Vandross of Xbox, as far as the way he speaks. I wish that Xbox hired him for a podcast, because this man's voice is magnificent. It's majestic.
Real rap.
No, none other than the one and only, the Shermanator. Shermanator, please introduce yourself. How are you, my brother?
What's going on, brother? You too kind. You're far too kind.
You see what I mean?
I appreciate you. I appreciate you, brother. I really do.
Oh, I appreciate you too, brother.
As for Hebot and E-Rock, what's going on, guys? Way too long since people
Yes, sir.
under the same frequency, if you will. And for my hopefully new compadres, Tug Master and Master Chief, so good to meet you guys. And
Nice.
just really been enjoying all the contributions that you put out there, even before the show started. So I think we're gonna have a pretty good time.
A healthy time, a
at
healthy
least.
conversation, a healthy time.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And,
All right.
And just for the record, I think, and I'm looking at the display right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would probably say, if you take into account the law of averages, it's probably about maybe 620 years worth of gaming experience between us. So, just a quick observation.
Oh boy, here we go.
Hey,
I hope this one's one for the ages,
Yeah.
for real. So guys, look, we're gonna get right into it because we don't have a lot of time, and it's a lot of us. And there's a lot of wonderful opinions and thoughts from all of us that people are probably gonna want to hear. That's why we're here for. That's what the show is all about. We got next, ladies and gentlemen. So let's start off. XO happened today. Microsoft started right off the hip, right off the bang, with the new reveal of the IPs. With Rare, with a game called Everwood. Now, what I will say is this. Microsoft with this XO has shown that they are here not only to solidify that they mean business as far as bringing new talent, diverse talent, different types of experiences to our gaming platform, but that they want to cover all types of genres, all types of gamers. And I understand there was a lack of AAA photorealistic games before anyone says, you know, that was the issue, that what people would call it the elephant in the room. Me personally, I don't see it that way because we have other third parties that fill in that void. And to be quite honest, it's the end of the generation. Scarlet is around the corner, PlayStation 5 is around the corner, and whatever Nintendo else is making is around the corner. So you have to save your big guns and your explosive guns for what's coming out to introduce that new console. It's the way it's always been. It's part of the cycle. It's part of what is gaming. When you bring out a new console, you need titles. So I know Microsoft has to have something baking in the realms of bigger titles that are AAA from their acquired studios, and maybe even other announcements of other studios. But I think that the game was solid and it introduced a lot of things that we haven't seen in a while. And I think it also showed that they want to help everybody. And that Game Pass is going to be the real deal for the whole next generation, if not the entire generation. I don't see it being touched by anybody or anything at all at this point, because it's just getting ridiculous amount of value that cannot be undermined and cannot be matched, and to be personally honest with you. So I'll start off with my boy and my brother. I'll start off with Sherm. Did you see the show, and what did you think about Everlast or Everwild or Everwood, I think it is, from Rare? That's one of the first things they showed.
Well, just full disclosure, I'm starting off here at a disadvantage, be it ever so slightly, because I have not seen the show yet. My plan was to watch the show tonight.
Okay.
Once I make it back home. However, it's interesting because when you
Well, there's
hit
gonna
me
be some
up-
spoilers.
well, no, it's all good. It's all good. I can deal with the spoilers, so just have at it. But see, here's the thing. It's very interesting because literally about maybe 15 minutes before you got in contact with me to let me know that you wanted to for all of us to get together here. I've got my phone all queued up, everything Microsoft. So 15 minutes before you hit me up, I get all of these alerts as far as all the announcements.
Right.
Excuse me, all the announcements that they made at EXO, and so literally I'm just scrolling, and I'm like, wait, are you serious? Wait, see what? Oh, wait, hold up. What is it? No way. No. Oh wow, yes way. And I'm just scrolling. So now I had already planned to check it out later on tonight, but now I'm seeing all these alerts, and it was almost like watching a movie trailer, and I'm thinking to myself, oh snap, I'm gonna make sure I got my rotisserie chicken ready, and I'm gonna make sure I got my mixed vegetables ready, and I'm gonna make sure I got my bowl of ice cream on the side, just chilling in the freezer, and I'm just gonna sit down and enjoy the show. And
right.
Right after that, you hit me up. I'm telling you, it's amazing how things work out.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just saying all that to say, just the little bit that I was informed with, I'm super hyped, and I agree 100% with everything that you just stated as far as I can tell. And again, feel free to just toss the spoilers out. It's all good.
Okay.
But from what you and everybody else have said thus far, I totally agree. Microsoft, the Xbox and Team Xbox, usually we all know how it usually works. The end of a console generation, things kind of wind down, things slow down. It's just like a trickle, just drip. Nothing really is going on as far as releases and things for the customer base. No. Microsoft is changing the game.
Right.
They're like, oh no, wait. You guys thought that because we got the Scarlet coming out in about a year, you guys thought we were just gonna just sit back and chill?
Right.
Oh, no, you guys don't know us at all, do you?
Well, they kind of
really? Wait,
they're
you don't
ending the year
believe
with a
it?
bang.
Well, check this out, guys. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Oh, and by the way, we're releasing close to 50 games for Game Pass. I mean, seriously? And then the whole EA thing included?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm telling you, they are on a mission. And As an Xbox consumer, I'm loving it. I got no complaints. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. So I'm really looking forward to in a few hours to just kicking back and watching the show. And this is just day one, y'all.
Right.
Don't forget that. This is just
That's crazy.
the first day.
That was crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in typical genuine fashion, as you can see here, nothing scripted. Sherman is being completely honest. He hasn't watched the show, but he has his footnotes. He's kind of alerted because there's been a lot of buzz. There's been a lot of talk. There was a lot of big announcements. There was a lot of little announcements. There was a lot of unexpected announcements. So I guess I'll go right to you, E-Rock. With that being said, and what did you think about the new reveal for Everwild or Everwood? Please correct me if I'm wrong. For the rare title, Everwild. Okay.
Yeah.
And what were some highlights in the show that you enjoyed that you didn't expect, and what was the most eye-catching, and what do you think so far?
All right, I'm gonna do a quick rundown, have my say, and because I know everybody wants to talk, and everybody else is chopping at the bit to talk. I had no expectations for XO 19, the XO show. That is Great Britain's show. That's their sort of E3, but only toned down to a lower level. It has never been on a level of an E3. We have never looked forward to XO unless you live over in Great Britain, like our friends Microbox of X or Andy Mack or the Welsh Gamer. I don't look forward to XO at all. I mean, at the
it's like an E3
when they have
light.
XO,
Yeah.
like they usually show stuff they've already shown. They already showed something. Maybe it's coming out next year, or they showed some DLC, or it's nothing really that to get you excited. To say, okay, that's nice. Okay, great show. Thanks for coming to United Kingdom, guys.
Right.
Dude, I tuned to this XO19 and I was blown away. And the reason why I was blown away is because, almost like Sherm said, at the end of a console generation, you're not expecting a platform holder to introduce new IPs. That
Right.
don't never happen. So what we saw Rare, who everybody assumed all Rare had to quicker was the Great Sea of Thieves. Rare releases this Everwild reveal trailer. It's a beautiful game with these characters. They're in this woods, and they're like hunting down these wild animals. It's beautiful. Rare is still in the game. Rare still has skin in the game. We knew nothing about this game. No one told us anything about this game. This game had no leaks. The next game they showed was a game called Tell Me Why by the people that made that. It was
Life is Strange.
damn it.
Life is
Life is
Strange.
Strange.
And remember,
it looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. So when people are already running a narrative, there's no photorealistic games. That's damn near photorealistic. This game looks very interesting. Tell Me Why. The graphics are beautiful, and this developer had skin in the game. Bleeding Edge by Ninja Theory. Bleeding Edge, a fighting game. That looked amazing the few minutes we saw Bleeding Edge. There's a game coming out from Obsidian that we knew nothing about Grounded. It seems like these young kids have been shrunk, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and they're trying to escape out of this backyard. This shit looks crazy. It looks like something that Nintendo should be making, but Nintendo isn't making games like these. Nintendo isn't making new IPs, and nobody's calling them out on it. Grounded is an Xbox game from Obsidian that we did not know was coming. How did Microsoft keep these new IPs secret? Another game they showed was West of the Dead, voiced by Ron Perlman.
Top-down shooter.
It looks very good. They showed this colorful game called The Artful Escape, which was actually shown at
actually showed
2017. Yeah, that looks good. Hold on, let me see what else. They showed another very good-looking game called Drake Hollow, which is sort of a survival game. That looked good. They showed something called Crossfire X, which is the first actual playable part of that game is going to be on the Xbox consoles. Hold on one second. One of the biggest reveals was that starting today, Rage 2 is going to be available on Game Pass, and every game shown, every game that we mentioned is going to be day and date on Xbox Game Pass, including every Final Fantasy remake. Every last one of them is going to be on Xbox Game Pass. But wait, there's more. Anybody here ever heard of these little Japanese games called Yakuza? They're on PlayStation. They're all, except for 3, they're all coming to Xbox. Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami, they're all coming to Xbox.
And E-Rock, can I say
March
something?
Great
things.
Game Pass.
Great things come to those who wait. And I've always wanted to play, I'm just saying, I'm so glad I waited for the Yakuza games and didn't go buy a PlayStation to play them, because now I get to play them all and I don't got to pay for them. Amazing.
That's hilarious.
How consumer friendly is that? First of all,
Right.
to not just
That's
put
right.
everything on Game Pass, but still, especially been going over to Japan. We knew
That's
he went over
right.
to Japan a year and a half ago, and he was over there making deals. You know, the Xbox haters, and they are legion, say that he was over there begging for games. He wasn't begging for games. These developers want their games on Game Pass, because apparently the PlayStation 4 with this huge install base, they're not buying these games.
They're not buying them.
Square Enix and Sega are putting their games on Game Pass.
you gotta look like this too, okay, fellas. When it come down to it, these industries out here to make money. So if that's what they're gonna do, that's what they're gonna do.
Well, that's what they should have been
What
doing.
they're gonna do. That's what they should have been doing a long time ago. That's what the whole Game Pass is all about. So
Well, developers have made this mistake before with PlayStation install bases, thinking their games are going to sell, making them exclusive to PlayStation based on the install base. But what they don't realize is the average Sony console buyer does not buy that many games. Most of my friends that have a PlayStation 4, they're not that big of gamers. They don't really know what's going on. They don't watch E3s. They play Madden and they play Call of Duty, and that is it.
Right. Well, this
this
has been going on since the even the PlayStation 1 era, where they sold so many
It
consoles.
It goes back for a long way. I believe the PlayStation 2, one of the biggest selling consoles, had the lowest attach rate of any console in existence. So explain that, you know? I mean, less than half a game sold per console. How do you sell a half a game per console?
Are you serious?
Well,
That's very true.
console
No,
sales
that's
never.
a verified fact.
Console sales are indicative of true success because
Right.
it's software.
Game
We've
sales.
been saying that for years.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's all I had to say.
Okay, go ahead, Eva.
Going back, the Dreamcast had like a high game attach rate. The original Xbox had a high game attachment rate, meaning for every console, more than anywhere from 5 to 10 games per console were purchased.
Yeah.
How did PlayStation 2 become the biggest selling console
Of
and
all
only sell
time?
half a
Yeah.
game per console?
Number one selling console of all time. And
Ridiculous. It's incredible.
Still the software attach rate was low. Right. Absolutely. I agree.
Well, you know what?
Okay.
Let me just say this real quick, and that's an extremely valid point. Extremely valid point that nobody talks about. And the reason why, I mean, and look, I'm in the back of the same pickup truck with the rest of you. The only thing I like about Sony is my 4K TV. That's it. So I'm just saying, I just want to get that out the way. But the one thing that Sony is a master at is marketing, and even reverse marketing. Reverse marketing. A lot of people don't recognize. Yes, a lot of people don't recognize that actually exists. Reverse marketing is a thing, and the simple fact that with the PlayStation 2, and that's verified fact. I mean, there are scientific numbers with what he just mentioned. How in the world can you have a ridiculously massive install base, but yet sell half a game? So what are we talking about? A trial? Maybe they were talking about, oh, well, yeah, there was a trial for every console. But the thing is, here's the thing. Sony has successfully mastered the art of concealing certain bits of information that will damage their brand.
Yep.
Now, for those of us like us who are in the know, you know, we don't fall for that foolishness. But sadly,
a lot of
of
people
the population, they do. And I just really appreciate you for bringing that out. That's all I wanted to say. Because that needs to be heard. It really does. It needs to be heard.
Right.
Hey, Sherman, you know
and-
what? I'm gonna
and
bring
just-
this point up right quick.
Well-
I'm gonna bring this point up.
Okay.
And when it comes down now, Sherman, you know, he likes the Sony TVs and everything. Let me tell you right now, and y'all know how I feel about Sony. I don't own a doggone Sony project in my house. I don't own nothing Sony. Okay?
Hey, just to tell you something about their TVs.
Because the time when I had the PS3, they lied about the home thing. Man, I said, okay, I'm gonna think that this thing gonna be like live. I said, okay. And then they went and shut the damn thing down. I was like, okay. I said, then when I said, hell with it. I just hold my damn PS4 and my PS3 to the hell with it. I'm just the Xbox.
If I can go back to the attachment ratio and also say another thing that people don't know and they should know is if you've ever wondered what happened to a lot of the great studios of the past, the mistake that a lot of them made and why a lot of them went under was joining PlayStation with the PlayStation 2. What happened is they saw the install base and they got dollar signs in their eyes, and they launched a lot of their games exclusive on the PlayStation 2, and didn't realize that these people who bought this machine were not going to buy their games, and that's where all those we've lost so many developers from the past, thanks to Sony
very true.
and their ability to sell so many consoles, but not really that many games.
That's very true. And you know what's interesting? And it was very interesting. And I, in no way did I think that our discussion was going to somewhat devolve into an history lesson. But it is what it is. You would think that a lot of these developers, especially those that are still around from way back in the day, you would think they would have learned their lesson. The 8-bit era, when Nintendo did that. I don't know if any of you remember that. But remember, there was for a long time, for our listeners who were unaware, quick history lesson. Nintendo back in the day, and I mean in the 80s, the early 90s, Nintendo had it set up for any development studio where if you wanted your game to appear on the NES and for almost the first half of the Super NES, but especially the NES, you had to sign on the dotted line stating that your product would not appear on any other console ever. And they went one step further, saying that not only will this product not appear anywhere else, but you can't work on any future development or any other console. Now, Nintendo's attach rate was better than PlayStation, but a lot of companies struggled because of that. And so fast forward to now, where we have this plethora of third-party availability, no matter what your tastes are. But it wasn't always the case.
Right.
Yeah. Back then, you were taking a gamble with a third-party game.
Yes.
You know, if you owned a Nintendo, you bought mostly first party. If you owned the Sega, you bought mostly first party.
Right.
And that was back in the day when console makers, back then, there was a reason Sega games were exclusive. That's because Sega made them. There's a reason Nintendo, their games were exclusive because they made them. The only reason PlayStation had any exclusives on their console is because they paid a bunch of developers to not release their game on the other platforms. They didn't make any of their games. Yeah. And not only that, there were games, and this is really sad, there were a lot of games that were actually completed, like for the Sega Saturn and for the Nintendo 64, ready for release. And Sony said, here's some money, can you make those go away?
Right,
that's true.
They bought a lot of their
games. A lot of games.
A lot of their games were bought.
Metal Gear, right. A lot of games like just all of them. Resident Evil. I mean, Resident Evil. Capcom was literally done with the Saturn version, but they had to shelve it. And the only way they were able to release it was they called it Resident Evil Director's Cut, and then it finally came to the Saturn, which was an extended version with a colored intro instead of a black and white intro. So you actually, if you held out on buying a PlayStation, you actually got the better version on the Sega Saturn. And to my mistake, I bought a PlayStation 1 for Resident Evil 1, thinking it was never going to come out on anything else. Lo and behold, it came out on the Sega Saturn, which I already owned. And the game, I feel like I blew some money.
And the game was actually being done originally for the Saturn, but because the Saturn sales weren't doing well because of PlayStation. The name behind PlayStation was Sony, right? The Sony name was such a highly recognizable name at that time that people, especially in the electronics.
We never heard. You got to remember too. We didn't know what a timed exclusive was. Exclusive meant exclusive.
Well, they weren't
so
even.
Sony,
they never told you either.
Right,
they never told you.
Right. So when Sony showed us these games like Metal Gear and Resident Evil and Final Fantasy and more, we thought, we gotta buy and Grand Theft Auto. We thought, I gotta buy a PlayStation to play these because exclusive means exclusive. We didn't know that we were wasting our money on a console because the consoles that they came out, like, okay, for instance, Grand Theft Auto was much better, played much better on the original Xbox. And for people who waited, they got a superior version. The people who waited for Resident Evil got a superior version on the Saturn. You know, and just so on. Like, all these games, none of them were really exclusive. Sony started this awful practice of timed exclusive. And at the time, like, we didn't even know what that was because there was no such thing. Like, we thought, oh, well, you know, going on our history as kids, when we were kids, you know, Sonic was going to be on Sega, only on Sega. Mario was only going to be on Sega, so
Well, they
makes sense to
created
us
them,
to
like you
think,
said. Yeah.
well, right. So they gave us the illusion that these games were Sony exclusive and were always going to be on PlayStation. They're never going to be on anything else. Devil May Cry is another one. And now look at all these games that were so-called exclusive. You can buy them on anything.
Yeah, well,
So, I mean,
it's a different time. You know,
so not only
third-party-
did they, not only did they cheat to get exclusives by paying other developers, they lied about the exclusivity the whole time. So
Well,
that was just
yeah,
a cheap
they
move,
did
in my
that.
opinion.
They even did that this generation, where they said, like when Hellblade was
Oh, yeah.
introduced and stuff, for example, it said it first on PlayStation, but
Well-
they would word it differently to make people think that,
Yeah.
oh well, it's not coming, it's not coming. They're doing it even now with the Final Fantasy VII remake, you know, and people don't catch it, you know, unless you're really paying attention, you don't catch it. So, you know, it's just
Right.
a practice that they've been doing since the PlayStation 1 era. And I think, to a certain extent, Chief, not to correct you, but I think that exclusivity bullshit also started somewhat with Nintendo as well, to a certain extent.
Yeah, I will
know,
say, yeah, I should
you know,
correct myself.
It just
Nintendo
wasn't
did
as
it well.
bad. It wasn't as
But
blatant.
Right, it
Nintendo
wasn't
had,
bad.
and it,
No.
and
right,
it wasn't as
bad.
and it
Nintendo
wasn't
had
as
first-party
malicious
games
either.
to go
Whatever.
along with those, right? Right. Well, the Nintendo
Well,
had first-party games to go
well-
along with those, you know, whereas like
So-
nothing that they said was exclusive on PlayStation was made by Sony.
Right.
None
right,
of it
right,
was
right.
truly
I know what you're saying.
exclusive.
Nintendo
Absolutely.
offered their
Well,
own stuff on top of offering
Yeah.
third-party stuff, just like Sega did. Sega did the same thing. You know.
Right.
So real quick, because I wanna get more thoughts on what else they showed. E-Rock, what else were you saying? Did you have anything else you wanted to say, my brother? I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Y'all just have
Yeah,
a
that got
healthy
derailed.
conversation. No. It's just I really was not expecting Xbox to at the end of a console cycle to show 7 new intellectual properties
Right.
out of nowhere that we did not know about, to announce that 60 games are coming to Game Pass
Right.
starting today, to announce that they had made a deal with Sega to bring the Yakuzas over, and a deal with Square Enix to bring every remake of Final Fantasy over.
Right.
I mean, this is the most consumer-friendly move I personally have ever seen in console gaming, and it just reinforces why I game on Xbox, why I continue to game on Xbox, and why the other consoles have nothing to offer me. And it's just a really boss move. It was a great show. And if you haven't had a chance to see XO19, check it out. Xbox really delivered.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it came out of nowhere. I'm impressed. I'm surprised, and I'm glad to be an Xbox gamer.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah.
Nice. So, with that being said, since I have my Master Chief on a roll talking, Master Chief, have you seen the show? Is there anything that highlighted your interest that you
I
like?
was highly impressed. I was highly impressed for XO. I couldn't believe the amount of announcements in the world premieres. I was actually blown away. And you know, any seasoned gamer like us will tell you that photorealistic games is overrated, because those are the first games to look outdated. Like, if you
Right.
go back to the games that you grow up with, the ones that we all thought were photorealistic, we look back at them and we're like, oh man, that look like shit, you know. But the games that had an art style are still around. They're timeless. They're classics. So all I have to say is, if you're fans of photorealism, yeah, you know, it's nice, but photorealistic games are a little bit overrated, because next year it's not going to look photorealistic. You know what I'm saying? Like, every year games are going to look more and more photorealistic, and the ones that you think look so good now are going to look dated. But the games with art style will not. They will continue to look good. That's all I have to say about that. But as far as the XO, all the announcements were great, dude. That Honey, I Shrunk the Kids game, that's what I'm gonna call it.
It's called Grounded, And what Obsidian is
Yeah.
doing,
Right,
It looks-
yeah,
it
instead of
looks-
what
it
Obsidian
looks great.
what Obsidian is doing, instead of it being something like where you're playing with Fortnite, like against people, as a survival, you have to try to survive being shrunk in a real world with humans that are big obstacles like weapons, gardening tools. It's kind of a new take on it, and
Right.
it's very interesting
Yeah.
and different, which is cool. It may not be for everybody, but you know, it definitely looks interesting at the very least.
Who don't want to play that? I'm a
No,
big
yeah,
kid at
right.
heart. Who don't want to play that? It's like
Exactly.
Master Curse of Brotherhood. Who didn't want to play Master Curse of Brotherhood?
Yeah.
Oh man, and also with the games that they had, like that Crossfire X was something they showed a couple E3s
Oh,
ago.
man.
Yeah,
just
well,
a small
last E3.
glimpse of.
Yeah, last
We got
E3.
to see more of that. You know, it looks like it's shaping up pretty nicely. They showed the Yakuza, which I already talked about. I'm excited to be able to play the Yakuza games on my Game Pass. That's gonna be a great treat. You won't see me for a couple weeks when that happens. Let's see, what else did they? They showed hold on a second. The Sea of Thieves expansion.
Yeah.
A good reason
It looks
to
good.
to
It's
break
another
out Sea of
story
Thieves and
expansion,
play
by
it
the way.
again.
Yeah, it's another story.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um,
That looks good too.
I got friends that are really excited about Wasteland 3. I'm excited about it. It looks fantastic. I'm gonna definitely give that
It's
a try.
real good.
Just so many games in the diversity in what I saw. I mean, I didn't see 3 or 4 or 5 games that looked the same. I didn't see
Thank
3 or
you.
5.
Right.
I don't want to
Thank
see.
you.
Yeah. Like
Thank you.
third-person photorealistic games are a dime a dozen these days. Can I get something that looks different? Something that gives me, a new look or a new feel, and gives me things I didn't know you could do in a video game. I mean, that's exciting to me. Stuff with art style. I like art style because as an artist, I like to know that artists were employed to make the game. Like people had to design things and come up with what does a chair look like in this universe or on this planet, instead of just photocopying it in a machine and then putting it in the game. Which takes no talent at all. And anybody can laser scan something and put a photorealistic thing in a game, but it takes artists to come up with a world. And that's what games are supposed to be. They're supposed to take you somewhere different, to another place,
Yes.
I mean, you want photorealism, walk out your front door. But,
Hey, Master Chief, not to cut you off, but I mean, like I said in my video earlier, and I'm sure you guys will agree, this entire Xbox generation has been about diversity and variety.
Yeah.
No two
Yes.
games have been the
Without a
same.
doubt.
Yes.
Every game,
Yes.
it's been every game has represented a different art style, a different genre, and like Hebot did one of his fantastic exposés. He played about, because he has a PlayStation 4. He played about 7 or 8 of them games and showed how they all look the same. I couldn't even believe it. I couldn't believe it. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, are you serious?
One thing I've noticed is you could cover up the HUD icons on a PlayStation game and the main character, and you won't be able to tell what game it is. I
Exactly.
mean, that's just the truth. Cover up the HUD information and the main character. What game is that?
We have
you'd be
had
sitting
so
there
much
for a long time.
variety. We have had so much variety. We've had so much variety, and you got these frauds out here who, the names. We're not going to name them. We got these frauds out here saying that Xbox has done nothing this generation. It's the biggest lie. It's the biggest crock of shit. And even now, they're on their podcast trying to spin all of this. Xbox has been about variety.
This is the first
and-
day. This is the first day, and look what they've shown.
Right.
I mean,
That's crazy.
And I as much as I love Rare and I want to be hyped for that new game, and it looks fantastic, I want to see gameplay. Like I really don't feel like I got enough. I want more.
Right.
So that's a good thing.
Right.
They left me wanting more. So I mean, I'm really
Well, you know what
interested.
Rare, they're gonna
hopefully in
deliver.
the next couple of days.
Well, the
what's
rambling
it about? How does it
rambling
play?
is
What do you do?
the rambling is
has
it's
me
an action
asking all these
adventure, too.
questions.
That's the rambling.
Mm-hmm.
That it's an action adventure. So it definitely looks
So-
gorgeous. I like the way it looks.
Mm-hmm.
It's gorgeous.
I tell you right now. Who's making that?
And
Who's making that Crossfire?
Hold on,
Couple more announcements. Tuck, I want to go over is oh my God, Halo Reach in 4K. Wow. Like Oh my God! I did not expect it to look. It looked like a new game. It looked like a new Halo game. I'm just like, I cannot wait. I know I've been complaining.
Man.
I know Hebot's heard me complain day in day out. When is Reach? God damn it! When are they gonna release it? You know. But I can wait. After seeing that, like, okay, I can see that they're not just slapping on, you know, they're not just slapping Halo Reach onto the Master Chief Collection. They're taking their time with it. It looks awesome. I can't wait to see it running at a high frame rate, 4K. I'm
Hey,
totally
Sega Man,
happy.
how are you?
No more complaints. I'm sorry, what?
No, Sega Man 187 is on the
Well,
conversation. He's saying what's up to the guys.
Well,
What up, Sega Man?
What's up, Sega Man? Well, Master Chief, who says you're going to be around to play? Because you know, as an Xbox dude, you got a target on your back because of your Yakuza, brother. You took Yakuza from them. You got a target on your back. I mean, can you imagine the assault right now on Twitter, sure?
Oh.
Can you imagine the assault
man.
on Twitter, guys?
Man. Yeah.
That was.
It's all good. I love it.
They thought
gonna
that
be
game
hating.
was theirs.
They're gonna be
They
hating.
thought that game was theirs.
Yeah.
Well,
Right, that's what we talked about.
I can't wait to hear how that game goes from an amazing PlayStation exclusive to it's
Trash.
alright, I didn't really like it.
Right,
anyway.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Trash.
Hasn't that happened with every exclusive PlayStation had? When Devil May Cry came out multi-plat, I didn't really like that game anyway. Well,
Right.
You know
Kingdom
what I'm
Hearts.
saying? Like it's happened with every time one of their
Tomb
exclusives
Raider,
comes
they
out to
hated
other
Tomb Raider.
platforms.
Right.
They go from loving it to hating it, and it's like, wow, it's funny how that happens.
God, you know who
and
does that, guys? Children. Children does that shit. Children.
Right?
Real rap. Children.
Yeah, that's true.
what children do.
That's true. That's very true.
That's who we're dealing with. That's who we've been dealing with all these years.
So are
Yep,
you
yep.
saying, is that your way, E-Rock, is saying that the majority of the install base for PS4 is children?
Yeah, basically.
Okay,
I mean,
I thought so.
Or
I thought so. I was just checking.
at the very
Carry
least,
on. Carry on.
or at the very least,
Yes, sir.
child-minded. Okay.
child-minded.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd be like Sherm. Like I got a 50-inch Vizio, and Sherm one up me, and he got a 70-inch Samsung, and I'm like, well, I don't like Samsung, nigga. That's childish.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's childish.
Yeah, I mean, especially if it's a good product.
childish.
A good product is a good product, right?
So Sony has even
Right.
done Sony themselves have done ads depicting their fans as a man-child. There's an advertisement, I don't know if you've seen it, with a woman giving birth to a grown man. I mean,
wow.
Damn.
Oh,
bathing in the
yes,
sink.
that's right. You're right. You're right. I've seen that. You're right.
There's another
Wow.
ad where they represent a gamer as a person behind you in an airplane with a megaphone head kicking the back of your seat. Like
Yeah.
they
Wow.
represent gamers
Yeah.
themselves like this, so they
Yeah.
know their fan base.
Wow.
Uncle Keith.
Yeah.
Ain't
Oh,
that something?
Yeah,
Wow.
and I'll tell you, this is the last thing, and then I want to hear Tuck's opinion on it. But the last thing I want to talk about is Bleeding Edge. I love the way this game looks. I know it might
I
not be
love
for
the art
everyone,
style.
but yeah, the characters, and I see
It looks
a little
very.
bit of Power Stone in there.
Yeah, and it looks very like Breath of the Wild, the art style. If you look at
Right, I love brawlers and beat 'em ups, and you do too. And this is a competitive brawler, you know, a competitive beat 'em up. You know, not every game needs guns. You know, sometimes just like you know, beat 'em ups,
Right.
man. People forget about these games. You know, where your characters have attacks and combos and moves, and it's like a fighting game, but in 3 dimensions. And I'm excited to play this game. I haven't played. I didn't play the beta. I wish I would have. But I'm just gonna hold out until the game because I don't want to spoil anything. But from what I've seen, I really like the gameplay. I really love the art style. I like the characters in it. And I'm down for a competitive beat 'em up. It just looks fantastic.
You're talking
It looks
about
fun. It's gonna
Bleeding
be
Edge,
different.
right?
Yeah, it's gonna be different. Like we haven't had a game.
It
like
reminds
this.
me of Anarchy Reigns on the Xbox.
I haven't.
It also reminds me of Outrigger on Dreamcast, Spawn, and the game Heavy Metal based off the animation Heavy Metal. It's the same exact style. It's a bunch of people, 4-on-4, or in this case, it's I think 8-on-8, 4v8 or 8v8, and you're battling out melee stuff. But she said that she wanted to use the, the Ninja Theory style of combat like they've done in the past. So,
Right.
so, it's pretty cool that it's different. It looks like it's going to be fun for sure.
Yes,
and-
it looks like each character is going to have their own style, their own way of combat, their own, and I laughed.
Very
when they
unique
showed that
character
big woman,
designs too.
when they said that big woman and called her Cupcake.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great! I can't wait.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Another?
And Flight Simulator. I mean, come
Oh,
on,
yeah.
like I grew
Roots
up on
of
that.
Microsoft Gaming. The first game they ever made.
Man, I remember in high school, we had one computer in the whole school that could run Flight Simulator, and I hogged the shit out of that thing, dude. I wouldn't let nobody get a turn.
And see, that's the beauty of gaming. I may not be interested in Flight Simulator, but somebody else is.
Yes.
That's
yes.
where you have a diverse
For sure.
portfolio of games. Instead of the
Well, and you can.
every other
How
year.
did they put the entire world in this game? Like that, oh my god, it blows my mind. Like I'm gonna be able to literally fly over you guys' houses. And,
It's
say,
running.
"Hey,
It's running on the
You know?
Azure server, Chief. It's running petabytes. It's petabytes running that
Crazy.
game. It's ridiculous the amount of memory that it took to run it, and it looks
the
so
entire
realistic.
Earth, dude. The
Yeah.
entire planet. Oh, that's amazing. I cannot wait. I just want to experience it and explore it, and not only that, but like I said, Flight Simulator is something I grew up on, and I just to see it return in such a grand fashion, and so polished and so realistic. I mean, people want to talk about photorealism. Well, there you go. Not only is it photorealistic, it's a simulator too. So you can actually learn something. You could, we have a flight school probably about an hour from my house.
Just like me, yeah.
And
Teterboro Airport.
Yeah,
Yep,
and-
yep. You can learn how to fly.
and
Aviation. Yep,
yeah,
yep,
and,
yep,
and my
yep.
and my dad has always wanted to go and take lessons. It's like I don't have the money to send my dad to flight school, but I can buy him Flight Simulator.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna love it.
That's the beauty. That's the beauty of gaming, man. I don't want to climb into a boxing ring, but you can always fire up Fight Night. That's the beauty of
Exactly.
video games. Beauty of video games.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And so, anything else, Chief, or you? That's pretty much.
No, so that's what I'm excited about, and I really can't wait to see the next few days what they come out with, because I know that's not all.
Well, that's a mouthful, and I think that's pretty awesome that at least you got something out of it, just like most I think pretty much did. Before I continue, I want to say to Zimmer Tracks, yes, thank you for stopping by. I will check out your YouTube channel. I really appreciate you taking your time to come and check us out. It means a lot to me. I appreciate it because I know you don't have to. But since you did, I consider you now part of my family. Now, guys, none other, obviously not last, certainly not last but certainly not least, we have Tuck Master. Tuck, did you watch the show? Which I know you did. Instead of playing Death, instead of talking Death Stranding players, and trying to make fun of them. Did you enjoy the show? What were some highlights? What did you like? What didn't you like? And please do not reference Death Stranding. Keep focused, okay?
No, I'm gonna leave it alone. What I was most impressed about is the cloud.
Okay.
They doing with the cloud with the phones and the system, the little handheld system that they coming out with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, actually using your phones. I mean, they got Madden on there.
Yeah,
I mean, if that's not a big killer.
Yeah.
They announced like 50 games
Did you
today?
see the fact that it's going to
Added?
support the PlayStation DualShock?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Man, I was like blown away.
Talk about consumer friendly, right?
Real consumer friendly. So everything that Microsoft did talk about today was just excellent. I mean, it's really that Crossfire. Since I'm really starting to get the shooters down, because I love Call of Duty. Call of Duty, they did a good job of Call of Duty this year. I gotta give them props on that. Remedy is making that Crossfire, right?
Well, they're making the campaign. Because
but it is an exclusive to the Xbox. So, I mean, I'm not really sure if it could be a time exclusive or what. But what I see of it, I like it. It's going to be a free-to-play game. But my understanding of it is, and I'll tell you another thing too, that Age of Empires 3, that looked good too. That looked real good.
The strategy RTS.
Right. I mean, there's just so many things that just blow my mind. I mean, Master Chief, and you hit it right on the head with that Halo Reach, dude. I mean, I'm like, okay. I'm like, how the heck can you get Halo any better?
I was wowed by the visuals. How it just pops. I mean, it was always a good looking game, but
Right.
You know, when you ever go back and play an older game and go, you know what, this game looked good back then, but don't look as good as I remember. You know, they're taking that and a step further and making it look better than I remember. You know?
Right.
It's not just I'm not just gonna go back and be playing Halo Reach again. I'm gonna be playing it like a new game. It's gonna be like a whole new experience with these visuals, because I played it on backwards compatibility, and it still looks good. It still holds up, but it has its frame rate issues. You know, it runs a little. I think it runs at 30 frames, and this one's gonna run at 60, right?
Yes.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
And with just so the resolution wasn't so high. It had, has a bit of a grain effect. And just looking at this, it just like I was just like, wow, it looked like Halo Reach 2. You know, it looked fantastic. I was blown away.
And I'll tell you another game I was really impressed with. Tell Me Why.
Tell me why.
Yeah.
It was just a good looking game, and then I saw that Bleeding Edge, that 10 minute gameplay. Oh my god, that is gonna be phenomenal. I mean,
Yeah, it's gonna be something new, something different.
it's just
Especially
something.
in the I like competitive games, but like everything is a shooter, and I
Yeah.
like shooters. I'm not
Yeah.
I mean, I play Rainbow Six, I play Call of Duty, I play Halo, I play Gears of War. I play tons of shooters. I'm a huge fan, but I don't really feel like I need another one right now. I want something I can play competitively that gives me a whole. And this is it. This is a
Seeing
new
something
experience.
like
this is a
this,
whole new
refreshing.
It's definitely refreshing. You just said it.
One
Refreshing.
thing I would say, everything what everybody was saying in the panel, this generation, Xbox has really just gave you every little bit of everything. And it just don't stay the regular genre. And I mean, and like I always have said, this 109 million that they said the PS4 guy out there, I'm not buying it. I never will buy it. And that's all there is to it. Like I said, I don't have nothing against Sony. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I can tell you this.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I can tell you this.
I just won't buy anything that they have. Sorry, I refuse to go and buy a single player game without a multiplayer experience. I refuse
Exactly.
to do that.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Very good point.
I mean, I refuse to go out there and buy Spider-Man knowing that I don't have no download content or nothing like that.
Well, I always say that Sony, they make their games like fast food. They want you to be done with it buying the next one. They don't want you to continue. The last thing they want is you to have a game that you can play all year round or for the next 5 years like a Halo.
Yeah.
They don't want that. They want to make a game that they can put out there, you can consume it, one and done, and now you're on to the next one, the next $60
Well,
game,
and
the next $60
the
game.
worst and the hardest part about that
200 yards, you will arrive at
is
your
that we're living in an era where you have to keep your audience engaged a longer time, right? Most people
Right.
they feel
Right.
they
Yeah.
feel that $60, even though the price has been that way forever, right? Forever. These guys don't realize that in the Nintendo 64 era, we were paying $90 for a Mortal
Well,
Kombat
here-
game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they feel like I want to get my $60 worth, right? And even
Well,
with the mentality now, Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, when you spend a lot of money on games like we do, you know, you want value. You want gameplay and replay value, right? Gameplay and replay value above all. And I'm just sick of this. The story and the music. Yeah, but you're gonna play that game 1 week and then you're never gonna touch it again. I still play Gears of War. I still play all the old Halos. I still play CFDs. I still play State of Decay. And these games have been out for a while. And they're constantly adding new shit. They're constantly updating these games. They're constantly giving new content, and I'm constantly going back to them. So I feel like not only is the gameplay on these games, like we were saying a minute ago, they're diverse. They give you like whatever mood I might be in. I might be in a zombie mood, or I might be in a shooter mood, or I might be, you know, and they have a different game for that, for whatever mood I might be in, whatever I might feel like playing, and there's always something new or something to bring me back to these games. They're not one and done. You don't just play them, beat them, and then put them on the shelf and never look at them again. You know, that's what the movie is.
Well, I want to ask you this: is that the reason why these people asking for a multiplayer? On what's that one that Sony could be coming out? Last of Us 2.
The Last of Us 2. Yeah. You
That's
know,
the reason why they asking for a multiplayer for that
Man,
game.
they've been desperate for a exclusive game with good multiplayer for what, 20 years now. So
They never had one.
well,
they haven't.
the worst
Like,
part.
what?
The worst part is that they don't even have, right? Since they're so campaign centric, right? I've always said that they should concentrate on making sure that when they make their campaign games, right, that they at the very least make those games where they're co-op. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. You took the words out of my mouth. At the very least, give us co-op so we can play them again with our friends.
Right.
Like, you know, because not only do Xbox games contain a great competitive multiplayer game type on like Gears of War, Halo, Forza, all their games are just great multiplayer-wise, but they also offer co-op in all of these games. I can play Gears with my friends. I can play Halo with my friends. I can play CFDs with my friends. I can play State of Decay with my friends. I'm not playing. What fucking PlayStation game can I play with my friends?
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. That's the biggest downfall of their games, that they don't offer not even an option of having co-op campaign. And since
that's the least they can do.
Since they're a campaign-heavy console, right? That's their motto, because they like to make their games like movies, because that's where they come from, right? They have movie studio as well. And that's their mentality.
Yeah.
Then you have to try to incorporate some type of online to get that engagement between the community in that console. That's why you
This
see
generation.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm so sorry, Ebot.
No.
I didn't cut you off.
No. Well, I'll finish real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
What I was gonna say is, that's why when you see their charts, you know, on the PlayStation charts, that's why the games you see up there the most played, is usually something like Fortnite or Apex, you know, for example, or Call of Duty, because they're multiplayer heavy. And they won't admit it. Even GTA, for Christ's sakes, they play that online heavy. My friend plays it all the time. So you know, that's why you see those games on the charts before they're AAA bangers, as they like to call them, because they don't offer that multiplayer experience even in the campaign in a co-op mode. Really fast, Blaster Seeker 16, thank you for the follow, my brother. Thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it very, very much. It's much appreciated, like I said, because I know you guys don't have to. So, E-Rock, go ahead. Say what you were going to say.
This generation has been the most bizarre I've seen in all my damn near 40 years of gaming.
Right.
Off and on. Because I was going for about a 10-year period. This has been a bizarre generation, because the last, I'll say from 2002, when Xbox really started rolling to about 2013, we were trained by Xbox to expect more. And even in a way, by Sony products, we've been trained to expect content after the initial purchase. You purchase a game for $60, and then there's going to be some sort of DLC or a multiplayer, which Xbox excels at, the multiplayer. I've never seen a generation where a company has brainwashed its audience, and its audience has brainwashed itself. This includes Nintendo too, but mostly PlayStation. You've all been brainwashed to think that a single-player game that you pay $60 for, that's supposed to be enough. It's not enough. Games are too expensive now. These consoles are too expensive. So we needed a service like Game Pass to mitigate that cost for the consumers. We needed we needed a service where literally it's back to having demos again. We needed a service where we could try before we buy. We needed a company to say, okay, you bought Sea of Thieves, well, we're not going to leave you hanging. We're going to continue giving you every content every 3 months. That's unheard of. Who does that?
Right.
Crackdown. Friggin' Crackdown had DLC. Crackdown.
Right.
God of War. Where is the God of War DLC? Where is it?
Right.
It's been a year. Where is it?
You know
what-
you know what it is?
I think-
Why aren't Crack Gamer and these so-called PlayStation fans, why aren't y'all asking the right questions? But Xbox needs to do more. Xbox needs to do. Well, I'm not sitting here with a bunch of dead software that I can't play. I could go back to Sea of Thieves, State of Decay. I can go back to Crackdown whenever I want, because I can go back to We Happy Few whenever I want, because there's content after my initial purchase. Listen, if you were to sell me 3 years ago the Xbox One on the concept that it was going to be a bunch of single player games, or Rise wasn't going to have any campaign modes or multiplayer, I would have never bought the thing. I would have never bought it. There's no way in hell. There is no way in hell that you're telling me gamers have allowed themselves to be brainwashed and say that less is more. But that's what Crack Gamer was telling me.
Well,
It's
I mean,
telling me. Y'all telling me that less is more now, and I'm sitting over here getting all of these perks.
Well-
Like today, Xbox just, for no reason, Xbox just gave us, the hell is that game? Give me a second, guys. They gave us Raid 2, okay?
Right.
I didn't even ask for Raid 2, but I got it. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. How can you be over here on the platform that's giving you nothing and say that that's the template for the generation?
Well,
Get out of here.
E-Rock, just to add to what you're saying, man, like, if you want to talk about the empty-headedness of a PlayStation fan,
Just hold tight.
the empty-headedness,
Add your
the
audio.
best example I can give is this.
Yeah.
Yeah, add your audio.
Yeah, there you go.
How's that thing? Go ahead. Include your audio.
Okay,
Check
so
that box.
so if I were to give an example of what the PlayStation fan base sounds like to me, okay, this is a Sony fan. You show them a game on Xbox that has a great single player. It also has cooperative play, plus a cooperative mode, plus
Yeah,
a
I heard you.
competitive mode, right? And they boo it. They go,
Right,
"Boo,
right. Or they
boo,
say
oh,
it's not good enough.
boo,
Or they say it's not good enough because it's not long enough, or because it's this.
But then you show them Nathan Drake stamping papers, and they go, "Oh my God!"
Right.
They start cheering. You
Well, I
show
think-
them a man stamping papers, and they lose their minds. So, like, there is no winning with the Sony fan base. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know, like the fact that they see a man stamping papers and lose their mind, but then call a game that has just fucking unlimited amounts of gameplay, unlimited amounts of replay, and they go boo, and then they cheer
Well, I think-
for a naked Norman Reedus on a beach with baby handprints going up his inner thigh. What the fuck is that?
Yes, if Xbox had released a game where the sole gameplay is you walking up a hill with a box on your back and taking showers, they would have trashed it.
Man,
They trashed Crackdown, saying that it wasn't enough. When Crackdown is unlimited amounts of fun when you play the game. You understand? So really fast.
Almost 30 hours of gameplay.
So really fast, Chief.
Yeah,
What you did, what you said, you basically cemented what E-Rock is saying. That this generation has just been one that really, I've never seen something as bad and it's hilarious, really,
Backwards.
and backwards
Right.
since like even the Saturn era. I thought the Saturn era was the worst era of all time, and that was bad. The Saturn era was really bad. And this era was just become, really one that I look. We're gonna look back at this era, and you're gonna look at it like this is probably one of the worst generations of all time. You know what I mean?
Despite all we had.
Yes, despite everything we've had that been
How
positive.
bizarre is that?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, you know, I mean, it reminds me a lot. I feel like my Xbox is like, it's a lot like when I had my Dreamcast. Okay, like I'm sitting here playing these amazing games like Jet Set Radio, Crazy Taxi, Skies of Arcadia, Panzer Dragon, and nobody's paying attention to these games because. Oh, look at that new Sony game coming out. Looks like a movie.
Right,
Like,
right.
Yo, like, okay.
Because they showed all the
whatever,
CG cuts, yeah, and it wasn't even like
right,
that.
exactly. you show them gameplay, you show them multiplayer, you show them co-op, you show them a great single player game, and they just sit there unimpressed. But you show them a man stamping fucking papers, and they lose their fucking mind. I mean,
Right.
give
Well,
me a
look.
break.
Right. Well, look. I don't think Tuck had finished what he was saying. So Tuck.
Sorry, Tuck.
No. I want to
No,
give you.
I'm over here just
What- if-
listening. I'm
what-
just over here
what-
just listening now.
Were you done with whatever you were saying, or you still had more you wanted to add about what you like from XO?
Well, you know what, listen, y'all gonna talk about that, and all that stuff, okay? And here I'm over here on YouTube, the other day, my mom, getting and all that stuff. And I'm over seeing about the Death Stranding. This one guy showed an hour and 10 minutes of cutscenes.
Wow.
Yeah.
An hour and 10 minutes of cutscenes in a game.
Wow.
Like, is that boring as hell or what?
Because they don't know.
But it has to have a parameter. It has to have some type of parameter. We as gamers, okay, and I'm pretty sure I can speak for all of us because I know you guys pretty well, right? In a more personal level, right? Not just through this Xbox bullshit of personas that we all carry, right? I'm talking about as real people and real gamers and hobbyists, right?
Yeah, real people.
Okay, we can appreciate beautiful graphics, good story, and even cutscenes and cinematics. Of course we can. But the problem that is going on now is that this ideal with the casual community, and a lot of it's coming from the PlayStation ship, from the PlayStation boat or ship that's sailing, and even the media keeps pushing it because it's bringing them those clicks to keep their sites relevant because that's how they make money, obviously. So I can't blame them. I know why they do it. Is that if a game doesn't have beautiful graphics, or if a game doesn't have 15 hours of cutscenes, okay, then it's not a good game. It's not considered a AAA. When the real AAA has to do with style, with gameplay, fun factor, experience,
Gameplay, fun factor, replay value, right?
the ingenuity, and new ideas that come with the gameplay mechanics in some cases, right? And this is what makes everything else for us, right? Worthwhile and intrigued. Like if it has good graphics on top of all that, if it has good music, because the music in Death Stranding, I have to say, is incredible. But that's because it's the music part of the game. It's just the composer did a phenomenal job, a beautiful job with the freaking music. But I mean, it's called it's a spade. You don't play music when you're playing a game.
Yeah.
Okay? So
unless it's a music game.
Exactly. Something like Dance Dance Revolution or Ooh La La from Space Channel 5. So, or Samba de Amigo, right? So the point is, whether it's beautiful music, you can't really give it merit because it has good music when you're not playing the game. It's not part of the game experience.
I try to remind myself this, I try to remind myself that they are a more casual audience, and they aren't as seasoned as we are. They probably have.
They hate to hear that.
They're not as they take it as an insult, but it's true.
Yes.
They're not as familiar with gameplay. The thing is okay, for example, like, okay, we would take a game like, okay, the best example I can come up with is cutscenes versus gameplay. The Sony fan base, they're casual, they're not that good at playing video games, so they get excited seeing their characters do amazing things in the cutscenes, whereas we get excited doing it ourselves. And that is one of the big differences,
I think,
in my opinion.
I think what excites them also is the visuals. They look at the visuals and like, oh my God, it looks so photorealistic. That's amazing. They don't understand that it's more to that. Okay, and only a
Right.
few.
Nice.
Yes, absolutely. It's great.
But see, I don't want to watch SmackDown. I want to play SmackDown.
right.
I don't want to watch this shit. I want to play it.
And
Yeah,
Exactly.
right now.
And see, like, for instance, okay, like the real life kid playing Grand Theft Auto, I got my friend piloting a helicopter. I'm on the side of it with my sniper rifle. Holy shit, someone's got a jet. They're shooting at us. They're coming straight at us. And I sniped the fucking pilot of the jet out of the jet and watched
Speak on it.
fly
Right,
down
right.
and blow up. That is
Turn around
exhilarating.
when it is safe to
Sony
do so.
fans probably can't do that kind of. They're probably not.
Right.
They're not serious. They probably couldn't pull something like that off in a game.
Well, they're not used to
A game like Metal Gear Solid,
their game.
where there's a cutscene, right? There's a cutscene where what's her name is in a helicopter and she snipes the pilot and the jet goes down. They're impressed by that. They feel like
Right.
such a gamer because they watched that happen.
Right,
It's like,
right.
No, you're not a gamer unless you actually do that. There are games you can do that in and not watch it happen.
Right,
You
right.
can't- I mean, like I said, you got to think of the casual mentality. They probably aren't. I would say they're not maybe not skilled enough to maybe pull that off in a game. You know what I mean? Or they don't play enough games to know that you can actually do that in other games. So that impresses them. You know,
Right.
it's easier to impress them. They're like, you know, like a child. You just dangle keys in front of them, and they're like, you know, they don't really need much. You
Right,
give them a cutscene,
right.
You know,
and they're like, whoa, wow.
No problem.
I can't
Okay,
I
look.
can't wait to really, I can't wait to get that really impressed me. That's Outer World. That game,
Okay.
that is a solid game.
You like the
It is.
RPG?
It is.
Okay.
You've arrived at
Oh
your
man,
destination.
hey, everybody's talking about that's the game that Fallout should have been.
I see.
That's how good that game is. It's
Right,
just that
right.
impressed. And just think about it. It's free. I mean, it's it's on the Game Pass,
Right.
so you don't have to go up there and buy it. On the other hand, the PS4 people just gotta buy it. If they buy
Right.
it, with their money want to,
Right.
money go right back to Xbox. The Xbox on the studio.
Well, I mean,
Other
the
words,
studio.
But I mean, you guys tell me, like, as a gamer, you've been gaming for years. You know, you want games where you can actually pull off amazing feats. You don't want to watch it happen. Like, nothing frustrates me more than seeing my character do stuff in a cutscene that I can't even do in the damn game. That is
Right.
probably the most frustrating thing as a gamer that I can have to deal with in a video game. Like, I will
I agree,
turn a game off
but-
when I see my character doing things that I can't actually do in the video game.
I
But it
I agree
impresses
with
these
that.
people. They see this happen in a cutscene and they think that they're doing it somehow. I don't understand
It's giving you
it.
the ability, Chief. And I agree with what you're saying.
Right.
But part of that comes with the same thing, like I said, that a lot of casuals play on that system. You know, you're talking about like a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a brother
but the thing is,
or a
it's the
con
truth,
or a
but
cousin, you know, that really
they
don't
shouldn't
play
be
video.
offended by it.
No, they shouldn't, but because they're
The
taking
problem
it.
is you try to explain this to a Sony fan, and they get offended. You know, like,
Well,
oh, you're telling me I can't play video games,
because they're
blah blah
taking-
blah blah blah.
they're
But
taking-
everyone with the casual when they start. You know,
They're
like, not
taking it-
everyone has the experience.
They're taking it as you're calling them stupid or something. That's what it is.
Right.
And not understanding what you're really trying to say. Now, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, this is the reason why I said that Chief's voice has to be heard because, you know, you can tell that Chief has a lot to say. He hasn't been doing anything for a while.
Passion.
And that's why I appreciate it because he's very passionate.
Passion better
For
game.
the-
That's one thing I will give them.
But for this, and he's
Very
very
passionate,
very
very
knowledgeable as well. But for the sake of the length, because you know, I want to let Tuck finish. I have to say something myself. Plus, we have someone that joined us, Sega Man 108. Want to hear what he has to say real quick as well. So you know, I got to kind of keep it moving. But plus, I got to go myself because my wife is already giving me the eyeball. But anyway, the point is, gee, thank you for what you said because. You know, your points are valid and they're always important and much needed out here in the gaming community on the podcast. Like I've told you many times before. But Tuck, finish up what you were gonna say, or you know, you were done, or what you were gonna say?
Nah, that's all I got to say, fellas. That's all I
Okay.
got to say.
So real quick, Necno Funk left because he had to go do some a prior engagement. So thank you for joining us, my brother. He had to go. So
We love
he
him.
told
We
me.
love you, sir.
That's right. He told me to tell you guys to say peace. So letting you guys know, really fast. I want to introduce Sega Man 187, the master retro man collector on YouTube, and my very good friend, old school Sega lover, just like me and Master Chifa. And you know, he's given me the privilege to give us his presence for, even if it's just for a little bit, to join us. And so, Sega Man, introduce yourself.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Sega Man. How y'all doing?
Hey,
Sega Man, what's up?
It's fine, nigga, man.
better.
I've waited for this for months.
Hats off.
Who's that?
What's
What's up,
much
brother?
respect to any Sega fan out there.
Oh yeah, he's a real Sega fan, that's for sure. So you know, it's nice to have you here. We're a lot better because you joined us. So Sega Man, did you watch the show XO today? Did you have any highlights or any particular things that you want to talk about that you enjoyed or share with us? Just let me know what you think. That's all you think.
Yeah, man, I watched Exo 19. It was pretty good. Sitting at Halo Reach, that looked pretty good. And that's going to be coming off the Master Chief Collection. And then I see a lot of stuff coming to Game Pass too. They should have upgraded mine. The Streets of the Right series. So be coming on there out of the league.
Hell, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so that looked pretty good, and I thought it was a pretty decent show. I think a lot of people were a little bit disappointed because I try not to watch the chat too much, but they kept trying to want to know about Fable, the new Fable, and wanting to talk about the Scarlet. And I knew they weren't going to talk about the Scarlet there.
Right,
you know what I mean? But but they kept Fable 4 and why they showing this and showing that. But I thought it was pretty good. You know what I mean? Yeah, I thought all around it was a pretty good show, and I was satisfied with this stuff. Then they got more coming this weekend. You know what I mean? More in depth. About the games they showed, having the developers on there, people coming and talking more about their games and everything. So I thought it was pretty good.
Right. Any particular moments, highlights that really stood out for you as your favorite moment, or you just enjoyed it all overall as a whole with the the whole show itself?
Most of all, as a whole, I mean, I thought it was pretty good. Some of those games look pretty interesting. That are newer games that are coming out. But what's that one game that's coming out? It's supposed to be free to play. Is it what's it called? Crossfire?
Yeah.
Crossfire X.
Yeah.
It looked like that might be pretty good. It's free to play, but it looks like that might be pretty good. It looks pretty good. Impressive.
It looked nice. It's like a
graphic.
it looked
good.
It looked like a modernized version of Counter Strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Sega Man, you have to have some feelings about me. Who's coming to the Xbox? I didn't know that.
Well,
Right?
This is my hero, man. I follow him, man. I'm a huge fan of Sega Man. He don't even know it.
Nice.
But I gotta hear your thoughts.
and when I was watching that's gonna be cool. I'm probably gonna pick that up. And people are like, finally, this game is coming and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? But I'm looking forward to that game. Let's try that game out, man. It looks good too. What they're showing, in the preview of the game. And then people got a little excited for all the Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah,
too.
On Game Pass.
You know what I mean?
Of all places, on Game Pass.
On Game Pass, yeah.
Jeez.
And them dudes, they didn't want to stop talking. They were excited.
Dude, they don't even have that freedom on PlayStation now, where they got those games that've been, the marquee or the hallmark staples for PlayStation consoles.
Yeah.
And you can't even play them like that on the service, like on PSN now. You know what I mean? Maybe now they'll try to put them in because of the incentives, but as for what we know, no, you know, you get only on Xbox Game Pass. I'm sorry.
I like how Microsoft gives the developers time to speak and come out and talk about the game. And, you know, if it were PlayStation, they'd be like, "Shut the fuck up, we got an orchestra playing."
They go to Chief always got to throw in the sneak in the haymakers every time. Go ahead, Digger Man. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah.
Well, you know what? Guys, after this, it's going to happen. We know that it's coming. You know, they're going to try to find something to talk about. You know, the trolls and all that, talking about, oh, they showed more kiddie games, and you know, they didn't really show any what they call bangers and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm thinking when I'm watching the whole show, yeah, it's coming because they're all watching. You know, but you know, it's for us as Xbox dude, it's just I'm excited. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
You get the feeling.
That's coming.
You get the feeling that the Scarlet is going to have an explosion of shit that everybody thinks they weren't going to do. You know what I mean? Because they need it. They need it. It's the ammo for the beginning of next generation. It makes perfect sense. They've done it always. It's part of the new cycle of a new generation. It's just been that.
But it's like me. It's a game. I didn't watch XO19 saying, you know, man, where's that next? You had a cinema-like game called The Man of Medan.
Damn.
And nobody was playing that shit. I was watching it like, wait a minute, Rare made a game and nobody told us about this?
Right.
Wait a minute, Obsidian made a game called, like, Playing After the Kids?
Yeah.
Yo, second man, I shit myself and watch. I want to play that.
It was
That game, I say, I was very impressed.
It's called Grounded. I want to play that. Yeah, so the Yakuza announcement, that was just like isolated and the urine in somebody's face. That was just like, where'd that come from? And then Bleeding Edge was showing. So, like, as the game, I was like, wow, you're closing the generation with 70 IPs. So, but of course, as we were saying, as we were doing this, the Xbox distractors, they're always going to have something to say. It's never going to be good enough for that. It's never going to be good enough for that.
You have arrived at your destination.
I mean, because most of those guys play, like I said, they play visuals, or they play, games that only look to be high quality as far as with the budget that's behind it. And I always said, and I said this in Mr. 100's podcast the other day, shout outs to him, to Mr. 100, that a game should never be measured by its financial back, like this financial, by how much it costs to make. In other words, you know what I mean? It should be
it should be judged on gameplay. Period.
It should be judged on what it's bringing to the table.
Cutscenes or
the game.
That. Those are all gimmicks. All that, cutscenes and quick time events and putting like famous people in your game. All these cameos from famous, putting actors in your games. These are gimmicks. This isn't gameplay. These people need to understand that none of this attributes to gameplay. These are all gimmicks.
Well,
there's nothing there.
And Chief, to be fair, because I don't want people to get the wrong impression of us either. We're not saying we don't need higher budget games that give a cinematic feel or experience. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is if we're going to get that, we need it to have the fundamentals first.
Well,
the gameplay, the fun factors first.
I like I said, I like those type of games, but I mean we get plenty of games like that from third-party developers. Yeah. I mean EA puts out games like that. I mean Square Enix puts out photorealistic games. I mean there are all these third-party developers that put out great third-person photorealistic games. do we really need another fucking pile of them? I already got like 10. I need to finish
No,
it.
no,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
no.
I want games that I can't get from third-party developers.
Plus,
That's what Microsoft is offering.
It's not good
Just like
to.
Sega.
Plus, it's
Well, I
not
was
good
gonna say,
cheap.
but
Go ahead.
well, I was gonna say, you know, me, you, and everybody who grew up on Sega, we got spoiled. We got spoiled by a company that always offered diversity in gaming. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just all these different experiences. Like we get one minute we're getting a cell shaded game with rollerblading and tagging walls. Next we're in a crazy taxi going around picking up, collecting fares.
Yeah,
Next
but
thing
the
you know,
diff-
we're bass
but
fishing.
Chief, the
Then we're
the
playing,
difference-
you know, it just
The difference
all
with
these
Sega,
different
wa-
experiences.
the difference with Sega was they were giving us those experiences, but they were also giving us with the good quality music, the good quality story, the good quality graphics. You understand what I'm trying to say? We were getting the whole package.
All of it,
It wasn't just good graphics, shitty gameplay, good story, stupid graphics. You get what I'm trying to say? It was the full
Right.
package, even online experiences as they went on and gaming, you know, further developed and evolved, obviously. So, you know, the other more important aspect of what you're saying and all of you guys have said and touched on the topic so far is also is not negating the creative freedom of developers. No developer should be put under a mantle, right? Or in this case, under the big business and wing of Xbox, Microsoft, the brand, right? And they say to them, listen, this is the mandate. All your games have to look like this and play like this. If not, you can't make it. That ruins creative freedom and experiences.
You just put that part. If that was the mandate the last 20 years, you would have never got the first Fable.
Right.
The greatest games of all time. It looked like a cartoon.
Yeah, my son loves that.
I'm so glad that Microsoft has given us the games that they've given us. Because, like I said, you know, I play the Hitman. I play the Tomb Raider games. You know, I do like cinematic, photorealistic games.
Of course, yeah.
But the thing is there's so many. Assassin's Creed. I could go on and on. But you look at it this way: third-party developers already have that covered. You know, and you know. What Microsoft is saying is like, hey, we're not in competition with the companies that are making games on our system.
Well, that's
we're
what I'm
gonna
gonna
make something else.
That's what I was gonna say.
You
I'm
see what I'm
glad that
saying?
Microsoft has kept their own path. In other words, that they're sticking to their guns. They're doing it at their level and their pace, the way they want to do it. Yes, I know it gets frustrating, especially for people that want to
The
see.
people at Microsoft are gamers, though. You can
Right,
tell
right.
that the
Right.
people that are there are gamers.
Right,
I
right.
don't get that feeling with PlayStation. I feel like the people there are more movie fans, and all they're doing is trying to make movies that you can interact with. And as a gamer, I'm not impressed by that.
Right.
I didn't by the slightest.
Here's all you need to know about me as a gamer, and I know this is selfish. I'm more excited for Grounded, that Honey I Shrunk the Kids game, than I am about the Call of Duty. I didn't buy the last.
I agree with that.
I'm tired of
Too many Call of
Guys,
Duty.
I'm sorry. I'm tired of Call of Duty. I'm burnt out on Call of Duty now in space. Now you sit in the terrorist dogs.
Right.
Now you sit
I
in
got
the I don't care about this shit no more.
I got you.
But
you know,
I'm guessing about this game every while from Rare, and I'm guessing about this game, this Honey I Shrunk the Kids game.
Considering
called
it's
Grounded.
spring and
I'm
we're
a
here
gamer.
in
I'm
the
guessing
UK.
oh,
about
to
that.
be fair, E-Rock,
What I can guarantee is that it'll be fun come rain or
E-Rock,
shine.
I guarantee you right now, this year they did a good job on the Call of Duty. I mean, the campaign is excellent. I mean,
I'm sure they
more of
did.
it's more of the gameplay.
I'm like Mark Scorsese. I played too many of them. I don't play them.
well, that's what I was gonna say. E-Rock, I was gonna say E-Rock. To be fair, you're probably spoiled because you played so many games through the years, which kind of makes us a little bit more jaded and harder to impress. You get what I'm trying to say? I'm not saying that you can't. Not saying you can't tell what a good game is. Absolutely not. That's not what I mean. But that is why you can be so
I'm at the
vocal
age
about
now
it.
where a girl just can't have good looks. She gotta be able to
Yeah,
cook too.
yeah, she gotta know.
I need more than some goddamn cutscenes, man.
Yeah,
I need
yeah,
more
I
than
got
that.
Yeah. Gotta have a
got you.
personality too.
Yeah,
The reason why I like Call of Duty, because I haven't had a Call of Duty in 5 years. So.
Okay, and that's okay. So that's
So
fine.
it's been a long time.
That's fine. Like,
And I
like,
but
like,
I do like them better.
it's like A-Rock said. That's what makes gaming special, because you know you're
I
enjoying
haven't bought
Call
a
of Duty.
game. I have not bought a Call of Duty game since World War. That is how long.
Yeah, yeah.
And as I used to be a huge fan, but after World War, I'm just like,
Oh,
this
yes, it
game
was.
has become a cut and paste. Like after that, it just became like Madden. It was just cut and paste. The only reason I
Game
got
never
this game
ends.
this year. Well, actually, a friend of mine bought it for me. Shout out to him. A friend of mine bought it for me. But I'm so happy he did, because this is a Call of Duty they took. It feels like they went back to the drawing board. They took their time. With it. I feel like I'm playing a real, like a modern game, and not just like an old game with new graphics. You know?
Right.
And that's how I
Right.
respect this from.
I respect that. I respect that.
That's the beauty of gaming, like E-Rock said, that we could all enjoy.
Well, I've been
what we enjoy at a certain
I've been
point,
wanting them to
certain
make
time.
a good Call of Duty for years, and just every time they make one, I'm just like, ugh. Like this is the same engine you guys have been making this game on for the last 20 years.
Right. Took
So when they
before that-
announced it, it took them all this time, and they finally created a new engine, and I'm like, you know what?
Okay, I'll give you a
play it,
chance.
know?
Right,
They
I'll give you a
actually
chance.
did. Yeah, because I've always said, if Call of Duty ever does something new, or if they ever create a new engine, I'm gonna try it out.
Try it out,
I
at the
wanted
very
to like Call of Duty. I used to be a huge fan of the Call of Duty series.
What engine,
Like I
what
said,
engine are
after
they
World
using,
War,
Master Chief?
It's some new engine they created. I don't know the name of it.
yeah,
I forgot the
That's
name.
good. It's a whole lot better.
it looks better, plays better. The physics are there. It makes everything that the other games were lacking.
They did what they were
Because
supposed to
there's
have. They did what they
Right.
should have done
The other
20,
game-
like 20 years ago, like Chief said.
Yeah,
actually-
basically. yeah, no delivery time.
Oh, you stupid, you stupid.
Yeah.
Well, check it out, guys, real quick, because I gotta try to. I want to get your final thoughts real quick, and also ask you what's something that might have that you guys felt disappointed of that didn't show up at XO that you would have liked to see. So I'm gonna give my quick brief take about what I liked and what I didn't like. Okay, or what I liked from the show, basically. The most important thing that I enjoyed, that I appreciated, was that we finally got release dates for a lot of these titles, which a lot of people have been saying, oh, they're never coming out, they're never coming out. We got a release date for Halo Reach. It comes out December 2nd, right? Which I'm glad they took their time. I'm glad they didn't rush it,
Yeah.
because you can tell by what you see. Thank you, Puppy. Yeah, you can tell by what you see. No, it's good. Just pieces from because as you can see in the product when they showed the gameplay, right, the montage, like Master Chief said earlier, it looks incredible. It looks gorgeous. I can't wait, and I'm gonna try to play it with Chief, because if you want to play a Halo game, Chief is the person to play it with. He's the Halo guru. Him and Mr. 100.
Oh man.
How much is that gonna be?
Yeah,
Rock,
yeah,
you
we
know?
gotta get 100, man.
Well, I don't know. I
can
don't
show you
know.
some-
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I can show you some Easter eggs in Reach you're gonna enjoy.
Oh, I remember you told me that. Yeah.
Yeah.
remember you told
There's
me.
one you can flip a switch behind the building, and then there's another switch on the side of a mountain. And if you have a friend over there and you both hit the switch, you get banshees, and you can like literally play the whole entire level with banshees. And shit
Oh,
like
that's
that.
cool.
So
I
can't wait
remember
to
you
show
told me that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, Sega Man, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if you're gonna get charged for Reach. I don't know if it's gonna be added for free for the ones who already purchased and been playing, the Master Chief Collection all this time. If they charge, I would have to believe. Okay, based on what they did with ODST, that they won't charge no more than $5 to those who
Yeah,
adapted.
it was like $5.
The ones who adapted to the game from day one, like us. If it's more than $10, I think it's not really the right pricing. It might not be a good thing. But knowing Microsoft, they're not really greedy with that stuff. They know the game's even available back on Pat, the original I really doubt them being overzealous, So I think what they'll do is either $5, or if you're just buying in for the first time, probably maybe $15 at the very least. I mean, at the most price. So that's what I think, Sega, to answer your question. Now, I like that we got the release date for Minecraft Dungeons, because it looks like Gauntlet with Minecraft in their universe. I'll definitely check it out. It comes out, I believe, April, right? We got a release date for Bleeding Edge. Comes out in March. We all know we're getting Ori and the Blind Forest in February. So it looks like we're going to have some type of exclusive at least once every month, like Microsoft said they were intending to do.
Nice.
With the Game Pass model. Okay, granted, no, they're not big AAAs, but they're games that are beautiful, that look unique, that are giving us experiences from classic gaming roots and style, and that's what matters. Are we going to get other games? I'm pretty sure. But remember, people, like I said, they just acquired a lot of these studios just a year and a half ago, and they announced all these studio acquisitions in the last year's E3.
This is just a taste, right?
Right.
I mean, you gotta remember that.
Like the game they showed that Obsidian's making, the other one, Grounded, right? They said they started this back years ago, and they weren't able to finish it. They didn't know they were ever going to be able to finish it, and they introduced it and showed it to Microsoft. And just like Bleeding Edge, they said, "Yeah, go ahead, finish it." It's a smaller team, not the main team. The other main team is working on other projects, bigger projects, obviously, and they're doing it while they're doing their big games. So they're not only creating bigger experiences, they're still feeding us smaller ones with these unique ideas that they had that sometimes that otherwise they probably couldn't have done before, based on the fact of the situation economically as a developer, which makes it even more special if you really think of it, because at least you can see their vision come through and see if it pays off, right? Because if those games do well, we, the gamers, are the ones who benefit, because that means we're going to get to see more games, more money to the division, which creates more opportunities for buying developers and making bigger games. It all goes hand in hand, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad that they showed that Remedy's still working on the campaign for Crossfire. Crossfire was a PC free-to-play. It's finally coming to console. And the campaign by Remedy has me excited, because I love Remedy games. I love their campaigns. So I want to see what they do with something more military-esque and tactical, right? And, I also enjoyed the fact that they talked about all these games coming out on Game Pass, like, Rage, Witcher 3, Streets of Rage is going to come out day and date. They got that other game with that guy. And my name is Pedro. That's like he's flying, doing flips in the air, shooting stuff. That was only out on PS4 and Switch. It's finally coming to Xbox. They got that other ninja game that looks like Ninja Gaiden on the NES, called something of Swords. That's coming out. They got one with that looked really interesting. Oh my God, I forgot the name of it. That they show you like on a sled with wolves. They also showed, that they're doing the game with the people who created Life is Strange and did Remember Me, but they're doing it. If you guys saw, Microsoft is going to actually publish the game, so it's a full-blown game they're publishing as an exclusive, as a third party. And people are like, "But I thought they said they were going to do that." Well, they have to do that because in order for them to get more content from their actual developers that they own now in studios, it's going to take time. So they have to fill in the gap with something and other projects from third parties, and so they can just go full blown with just their studios. And this is, and somebody like that studio, like Dauntless, right? The people, those developers, it's a good idea, because they're up and coming as far as what they did with Life is Strange. People really gravitated to the game. They liked it. It's very inclusive. It has all that political stuff, and with the agenda of women and sexuality and sexual preferences. So it invites all types of other people to come in and catches their interest to play. I believe the main character and tell me why, is a transvestite, as far as what I read. Okay, so not that that matters, but if it brings over other type of players to come to play, I guess I understand why, and it's a good thing because everybody has a right to play. Okay, we should not be judged by our sexual preference and things like that. Also, I really enjoyed the fact that they were so transparent with what they're trying to do, as far as saying that they're going to continue, that they hear you, and that's why they made the announcements of the Final Fantasy games. And who would have thought Yakuza 0, Kawaii, and 2, the first 3 Yakuzas to introduce the series. Now, what I will tell you, Xbox guys out there, is go support it, download them, buy them if you like them, because I don't want to hear baby crying later if you don't get the rest of the games like 4, 5, and 6, because you did not embrace them after you asked for them and said, quote unquote, Microsoft needs to bring them over because the only PlayStation does, and we don't have them. Okay, now it's time for you to put your money where your mouth is and show and embrace and play the games. Okay, because right, same thing with Shenmue, right? Then, of course, the big one that a lot of people may not think is big, but it's big. For the first time, we're getting Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 to complement Kingdom Hearts 3, which was never available ever before on Xbox. So now we don't have to go buy a PlayStation to go play those games if you want to play Part 3. Now you can play them on your favorite console. Right. You can play it on the platform of your choice in HD and in all their glory. And they're on Game Pass, which means those developers not paying anything, don't lose anything, because they don't have to worry about putting it in a box, shipping it out to the store. There's no excuses. The Japanese developers get the bigger piece of the pie based on what they make and what people that download it, people that buy the games. They get like 70 or 85% of the profits.
All y'all got left is God of War and Uncharted. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
Yeah, but those games are, but those games, you know what I'm saying?
I know, man. I know.
They're in PlayStation. It's just like us. They'll never be able to play Gears or Halo or Forza on PlayStation. You know?
Hey, listen, hey, they are having a stroke now, so let's help reduce the stroke.
Well, now what they're saying is, oh, it's a little too late because the games are old. No, it's not too late because the audience of Xbox have never played those games.
Exactly.
A lot of people on Xbox never played PlayStation. They never played the Yakuza series. They never played the Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. And now they can on Xbox, their preferred platform. So it is a big deal, even though it may not be a big deal for somebody like me or like you because you played it on PlayStation. The point is, it's the principle. It's finally coming.
But it's great. It's great for the people like me that held out, and now
of course, right? That's my point. It's fantastic because now you don't have to feel like, oh my God, I have to go get this, or I'm missing out, and I wonder what it is. It's listen, and the biggest part and the point of all this is those games in particular, like like Kingdom Hearts. And they also said that Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming to Game Pass. If you guys didn't catch that, which is also a good thing. The biggest point of this is those games like that and like Yakuza were never published or they're never paid by Sony for their development. They were all developed
But
and
also,
published.
in my opinion, those are the best games that they had. Like,
Well, they were the biggest.
I don't care about the God of Wars and stuff like that.
Right. Those were the biggest
Really,
games
I didn't care,
that
and
they
I
have.
don't care about the Kingdom Hearts much, but the Yakuza franchise is something I have wanted to play. It's literally like one of the only things on their console that I wanted to play.
Right,
and
or at
I've
least
been
you had
rewarded
interest
by
or
waiting.
missed or curious about, right? Right. I
Because
got you.
Sega. I mean, if it says Sega on it, I'm gonna want to play it. You know, that's just how it is.
Well, it's a beat 'em up. It's a
Um,
beat 'em up that tries to be Shenmue. It's basically Sega's version of Shenmue,
Shenmue is
not
trash.
involved without Yu Suzuki's take on it. You understand? Because Sega and Yu Suzuki had a really bad outing where he sued the hell out of them, and Sega basically let him go, and they created Yakuza to kind of feed that blank urge that people wanted for Shenmue. But then they gave it to Sony when Sony players were the ones that didn't support Shenmue on Dreamcast. They were the ones. They were the ones that was like, they're the ones that said we don't want Dreamcast, we want PlayStation 2 because it's gonna be way more powerful and it's gonna have a DVD player. Okay, and that's what they were worried about. They didn't care about the greatest launch console in history with the best, most powerful console at the most affordable price in history with the most innovative features in any console in history right at launch. You understand?
Yeah.
So that didn't matter to them.
Sega has always been, I mean, back in the day was 10 years ahead of everybody else all the time. And Shenmue, I remember when that was supposed to be an episodic game, it was going to span 30 discs. And
Yes.
you know, and you would subscribe to it and get a disc in the mail. And remember when that was how it was going to be?
Yeah, that was the whole idea.
You know?
I remember.
Oh man.
Yeah, very ambitious. Sega spent
Yes.
one of the reasons Sega lost so much money was because they trusted Yu Suzuki with the project because they believed in it. But the problem was not a lot of people embraced it. Only the hardcore gamers embraced it.
That's
You understand?
unfortunate.
And that's why they spent almost. The rumor is that it was around $75 million, but the real numbers supposedly are like 45, 50, just to make Shenmue 1 and 2. That's what they were saying. And at that time,
Right.
think about it, ladies and gentlemen. At that time,
Yeah.
that's an astronomical amount of money. We're talking
That's a
about,
lot of money.
what, 2001, right? 1999, 2000? You know what I mean?
2000.
You see what I'm saying? At that point, $75 million was like $1 billion our time. You know what I mean? Or 500.
It was a lot
million,
more.
You know?
If you judge if you add inflation, that well, if you were to compare it to games of today, it'd be like maybe making a $500 million game. You
That's
know,
right.
to compare it.
Yeah.
So-
yeah. I mean, and I'm thankful for Sega for always taking the chance of making it, because that game made open world games what it is today. And I don't care what anybody says. It may not have been the first open world game, because I remember there was another one that Jaylon told me about. Shout outs to him, wherever he may be. I forgot the name of it, but it wasn't doing what Shenmue did. Shenmue did the idea and structure that you see today in games like Red Dead Redemption
Grand Theft Auto.
and Grand Theft Auto. Okay, that is where
You're
it
right.
stemmed from Shenmue. And because of this game, that's why you have those masterpieces, quote unquote, for you people who love those games today. So just because of that, I respect and I'm grateful that Sega took that chance and did that for Yu Suzuki. It was just Yu Suzuki. One, he was ungrateful, and two, most people at that point were all sheeps following what was important and what was popular, which was PlayStation 1, from the transition to PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2. And they didn't play games like the way hardcore gamers did. Only hardcore gamers went out and bought and embraced Dreamcast. But that's whole nother podcast for a whole nother day. So to end my thoughts on EXO, I like that it was clean to the point. I think that it was a lot more surprising because they had a lot more surprises with the announcement of Yakuza, and Kingdom Hearts. I think had more of an impact than what it did in E3, what they announced in E3. To be honest with you, although I think E3 was solid as well, because everybody, you got to remember, they also announced in E3 Final Fantasy Online 2 using Azure servers exclusive for Xbox. And people keep forgetting that. That is also a big deal, because that's a very well-known title, beloved, that's been out for years that you couldn't play anywhere else. And now you're going to be able to play it on Xbox One through the best servers, which are the Azure servers. Now, what I was disappointed was that they didn't show anything about Battletoads or a release date. I was disappointed about that.
Yeah. I want to see that.
And because I'm a beat 'em up lover, and I really wanted to see something about that. And also, what I was also disappointed was that they, I had it in the back of my mind. The thought, I'm sorry. It was something else. When I remember, I'll let you know. But mainly that was my disappointment, that they didn't show Battletoads, a release date that was firm like they did with Bleeding Edge, like they did with Minecraft Dungeons, with the Halo Reach.
But we
You
have
know-
we have 2 more days, right? So,
Well, there's 2 more days, but the 2 days they already showed the schedule. It's basically they're gonna go more in depth with the developers for each thing they showed at the show. So they're gonna talk about Crossfire more in depth. They're gonna talk about the ground, grounded more in depth. Everwood or Everwild more in depth. With the developers, that's what they said they're gonna show based off the schedules tomorrow and Saturday. So I don't think they're gonna make any more game announcements, but they might. I mean, it's possible. But
yeah,
again,
I was thinking more maybe they might have an interview with them or something like that. I didn't know.
I know they're
what the
there.
schedule looked
I
like.
know they're there because I've seen people put out on Twitter pictures of they got these big, like statues of them of the Battletoads fighting, and on top of the bikes. But again, I don't know. I don't think, I think they really want to make the game where it's going to be good quality, even though it looks the art style that it looks, but that it's going to be really good quality. And I think that's
It looks
why-
like a Saturday morning cartoon, dude. I
Right,
really
right.
Like the,
But I
the
think
style
they
of
want
it.
it to be like really high quality and not just looked at as just another beat 'em up. And that's why they're taking their time with it. Kind of like what they did with Cuphead. Remember how Cuphead took forever to come out? I really have a feeling
Oh man.
that's what they're trying to do with Battletoads. They don't just want to re-bring it back out. They want to bring it back out, but with a big bang, where that when people play it, it gets a big wide reception, and they're gonna be like, "Oh wow, that's great, fantastic!" That's what I truly believe. So real quick, you guys, one by one, I'm gonna run it down, so we can close out the show. We're going almost on 2 hours, and I know it's hard because it's a lot of us, and there's a lot of opinions, a lot of thoughts, a lot of, things that you want to share, but it's hard to cover it all in the show, in a limited time. But I'll start off with you, my brother Sega Man. Any disappointments with the show that you were surprised that wasn't there, that you wish might have been there, that you wish they would have talked about?
Well, I think one of the things I wish that could have probably been there, or I wanted them to talk more about, is I heard there was, it might have been a rumor, but I would like to have seen like a new Mech Assault game.
Okay.
Oh, dude, you ain't kidding, man. Oh my God, dude, another Mexico fan in here. Dude, I go on and on about that game sometimes. I know some people get tired of hearing me talk about it, but back on the original Xbox, man, we didn't, before Gears of War, Halo and Mech Assault were the 2 main games, man.
Yeah,
And Mech Assault was one of the greatest multiplayer experiences of my youth. Dude,
Yeah.
that game is great, and I would love. I mean, I kind of like gave up on it. I'm like, I don't think that, just I give up on asking. But I mean, yeah, dude, you're spot on. If they announce a Mech Assault game, I'm gonna fall out of my chair. I mean, like. Oh man, I really enjoyed those games, especially Mech Assault 2, Lone Wolf. You could actually get outside the mech, and I love the way the mechs would explode and take buildings down with them and shit. Just can you imagine a game like Mech Assault with today's physics and graphics?
The Azure,
oh my
with the
God.
Azure technology, yeah, with the Azure
Oh
technology.
my God, dude.
That would be epic.
So good, dude. Oh man, yeah, one of the best games. People need to play. Do they have them back in Pat? Do they have the Mech Assaults?
No.
No.
See that? I didn't think so. Yeah. That'd be a good way to bring awareness to those games would be making us back in Pat, but I'm afraid they're done with backwards compatible, right? For now.
No. It's coming back, but
Still
with
the
Scarlet, right?
Okay.
They want them to learn. They want them to learn the technology of the Scarlet. So that
I've
it
been
won't-
asking myself the whole time, where is Mech Assault on the backwards compatible list? Like every time they put out a list, I'd be like, Mech Assault, no.
But I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
The first thing I would look for,
I think
other
that
than Splinter Cell, and Halo, the Mech Assault was one of original Xbox's finest exclusives, and up there with Skies of Arcadia and Blood Edge, but Mech Assault was by far the best.
Well, I think they're trying to build the Scarlet where it could actually read anything back compat, not just play them. You know,
Yeah.
where they have to transfer it over. I really think that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
So what else? What else? That was it. Just basically the only thing you were disappointed about. Sega Man. Sorry.
Turn around
Well,
when it is safe to
just
do
that,
so.
and I think they could have just maybe just spent a little bit more time, trying just talk about, more, upcoming games that are coming out for our system. You know what I mean? It seemed like EXO went pretty, not EXO, but they're talking all that. For EXO went pretty quick, like pretty fast. You know what I mean? But I just wish they could last just a little bit longer. People complained to them so much and bitched about how long their shows are, but I just wish they were a little bit longer.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Talking to developers.
I think I'm
about
with you on
games
that too.
and different
Yeah.
things like that. You
Yeah.
know?
Everything was very fast-paced. It's boom, 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 and I like that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have mind, just like you, if the show was a little longer. I completely couldn't feel where you're coming from. I think I'm in the same boat with you. Yeah, for sure. So, you, Chief, like anything that you saw that you might have wanted or disappointed or surprised, or maybe even surprised that you didn't see there.
I was kind of hoping they would have an orchestra and then like a CG cutscene of a guy saying papers. Maybe next time.
There you go. There you
Jam
go.
on the block party, and this is our next abandoned car rumor. Horizon, you ready? Here we
So
go.
you were okay. There was nothing you.
I went in with
Famous
no
film that was
expectations.
definitely
I got you.
I don't go in expecting them to make the games that are in my head. I go in to see what they have to offer.
Gotcha.
And I look at it and decide, hey, do I want to play that? Do I want to play that?
Right.
And I saw so many games that I want to play. I don't know how I can be set to anything. There are titles that I probably won't play, but those are games for other people, and I'm sure other people will enjoy those games. And I'm glad that they're making games for everybody. So I don't expect them to just make what I like. So
Right.
when they
Well, I
make
think-
things
I
that I
think
don't
that's
like,
a
I
good-
accept that. I don't see it a big deal. People are gonna like those games, and that's all that matters.
I think-
I'm gonna, but there were definitely things I'm looking forward to. Things I didn't expect. Like he brought a Mega Sauce. I can't get that.
No, well, I think that's a good attitude though that you have. Where you say,
I would just love to have seen that they're working on a Fable. I would have loved to have seen some Battletoads footage, and I would love to hear anything pertaining to Mega Sauce. So
right.
I mean, other than that, but those are my expectations. I can't apply my expectations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I go in.
I think you said it the best and very elegantly, actually. Where you said, I go in not expecting what I want to see, but going to see what they have to offer. That's a really good way of putting it, man. And I think that's the way that it should be from everyone. Of course, you're not going to get that. Of course, we all want to see something that we prefer, but that's not how it works all the time. So, it's very.
Put someone to sleep.
I think it's
no.
E-Rock. I think E-Rock.
No. So E-Rock, are you there, buddy? E-Rock, are you there?
He's happy.
Yeah.
Michael almost went out. Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
No, I'm still here.
E-Rock, so really fast, to get to you, what did you think, that you liked, that you didn't see, and that you were disappointed that didn't show up, or that you expected that you thought they would have gone to show and didn't show up? Anything in particular that you were surprised that they didn't talk about? Anything?
I mean, the whole show surprised me. I wasn't expecting anything from EXO, the EXO show. That's Britain's low rent version of E3. I wasn't expecting anything but for her to be sitting around and showing some DLC or maybe showing CFDs, and that would have been good. For me as a gamer, I was not expecting Rare to show a new game. I'm excited about that. I was definitely not expecting Obsidian, who just completed the Outer Worlds to have another game just about finished. Bleeding Edge looked good. I was really impressed by everything that's coming to Game Pass. I was blown away by the fact that Xbox had made a deal with Sega to get all the Yakuza's. They made a deal to get all the Final Fantasies. Like, I mean, if you're going out, this is how you go out. You go out big. So I'm impressed, man. There was nothing I was really disappointed by because people keep always asking about seeing Fable. I mean, we might not never get Fable. Or it could be developed next year. We don't know. Like, look at this game by Rare. Nobody knew about this game today. So, for a show that I wasn't looking forward to, I was really impressed. I'm excited now. I'm especially excited by that Obsidian game with the kids that are struck in the backyard. I mean, this is a very diverse line of games. I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
Nice.
And you know what I'm confused about? Where all these Fable fans come from all of a sudden. Like, I don't remember Fable being that big, and now it's like, point, you know, oh, where's Fable? Where's Fable? It's like,
exactly.
Give me 3 Fables. Did you buy those?
I think it's the vocal minority just to hear themselves talk in favor of making Xbox look stupid.
Well, I didn't.
Bad.
That's what I mean. I'm sure that half of true Fable. I know there are Fable fans out there. Hardcore Fable fans. I like Fable, so I'm not going to say I'm a hardcore fan, but I know plenty of hardcore fans of Fable that, like, you know, something about that game just they love that game. But as far as I know, that's a small minority of people. Like, it just seems like something that people want to complain about. I didn't realize all the time.
Yeah, Chief, you know, too, gotta remember, Fable has become kind of a cult classic, like kind of an underground. Alan Wake, you know what I mean?
It's right. It's amazing to see all the support for Fable after, you know, all these years. I didn't see it when the games were out. Like, that's what
I mean, it happens.
I love the first Fable 2. One of my most favorite games. I played the hell out of that back in October 2004. But I'm not sitting around crying for Xbox to gotta make Fable. But in lieu of having Rare make a new game or Obsidian make a new game, man, get out of here. No,
new IPs are better.
I'm not beholden to yesterday like that. And most casual gamers are beholden to yesterday. And I'm not beholden to yesterday, even though I'm a collector, a digital collector. I don't need for y'all to reach into my feelings for the past. Give me something new. I'm with that.
Right. In other words,
not to mention, Fable games hold up.
Yeah,
they hold up though. They hold up. It's not like you can't. Like, if you haven't played a Fable game, go play them. They're still
the lost chapters. Like my man, the lost chapters. And you in it, you good. The Fable anniversary.
I mean, what E-Rock's basically trying to say, in short words, is, you know, he's not going to be dwelling on getting a new Fable if it's going to be at the expense of getting brand new experiences and ideas that could be just as epic and as engaging as a Fable, or Fable was when
and I really do hope they make a new Fable. Absolutely. I hope they make another Alan Wake. I mean, but I'm not holding my breath. Like I said, I'm not holding my breath. I would love to see it. I would welcome it, but I'm not holding my breath for it. I can always go back and replay those classics, and they're just as fun now as they were when I played them. So, I mean, like I said, it's
but who can play new games?
There you go. Somebody to say.
Mike drop.
Oh boy. Man, according to this generation, everybody loved Medieval, Crash, Spyro, games that when they came out, people said were complete utter garbage. Now it's like, oh my god, they're the greatest. Sonic and Mario, like what?
Nobody wants to play old games until PlayStation remasters them. All of a sudden they're hot.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. So you know, so that's it. Like, there was nothing that maybe you thought maybe you wanted to see.
Not a thing, because like, guys, I don't know about it all. But I mean, I'm 50 years old, man, and I got like 474 games on Xbox. I'm not gonna say that to a woman. I'm saying that. Like, I'm saying, yo, blackboard shit. Nah, dude, I don't live in that world, man.
I got that many games on my backlog, man. It's like, dude, I'm still happy with what I got.
You're basically, realistically, you're like, I'm never gonna finish those things before I die. Let's be real. But I'm gonna try.
Yeah, like at least if they go and you in Sega Man's house, you know, you guys are like collectors, you're historians. Like, you know, they come from my crib and sell these games on my Xbox. Like, damn, dude, you got a problem. And like, look, I'm not sitting here waiting for
selling yourself short. Right.
I haven't even finished Outer Worlds yet.
Right.
And now all of a sudden you're throwing Rage 2 at me? Like, game, bro. But in fact, Xbox has to step off the gas.
Yeah.
Y'all hear me? What did you talk about? Xbox has no games. They got to step up off the gas.
Yeah, like, please, slow down. You're going too fast.
Yeah, there's no way you got time to finish on all these things that we've got this generation.
It's impossible. It's impossible.
You know? So, I mean...
Lots to play.
So, guys, with that, like I said, I mean, it's been really nice to have you guys join me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time, being so kind, being so genuine, being classy with me, like always. I know I could probably be bothered, but I'm especially happy that Chief came on here. But Chief, you know, I always love what he has to bring to the table because he's very passionate, very knowledgeable. And I know for Chief it's very hard because we lost a very good friend of ours, and his best friend in the world. And you know, I know it was hard for him to come here and you know, and move forward. You know, but
if you don't mind, I want you to show with something about that. So, but go ahead.
No, sure, no problem. So, you know, but I know that Chief is going to continue going forward in honor of whatever he does in gaming with his friend, you know, and my friend, you know, Merc, you know, because he was a real gamer, and he was our friend, and he was a very special part of our circle, right? Of our circle, for lack of a better term. You know, he's never going to be, he's always going to be with us. He's here with us now, and the way I see it, you know. You know, like I said, I appreciate you coming out. Bye, Chief. Sega Man, thank you for joining in, even though it was for a little bit. I know you were busy. You guys go check out Sega Man and his channel. He has a tremendous channel. He's criminally undersubscribed. Like E-Rock I saw E-Rock so eloquently puts it, because he has a lot to offer. He has a lot to offer, more than these guys with the 100 million and 100 million subscribers. This guy is the real deal. He loves gaming. He's very passionate, and he deserves the recognition and the love from the community. Okay, so
this man thank you, brother.
Yeah, so if you guys run into his channel, it's Sega Man 101.
So to all these guys in here.
Yeah.
I can tell you, they're all passionate gamers. And none of the people in this party today were phonies or you know, like these are all guys that grew up with video games. They've been playing them since they could hold a controller.
Oh yeah.
And this is something you should take in mind.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't just trying to clickbait or we're here to troll. We're here to talk about what we're passionate about. And talk about the memories of the things that we're passionate about.
Absolutely. Same thing with E-Rock. Go check him out. E-Rock is just the mastermind of words. He knows how to make something very trivial into complete satire and entertainment. He's the best of the best in the industry, in my opinion. That's he's just a hoot.
Some of the best content ever.
It's
definitely have to check his videos.
And then thanks Tuckmaster for joining us like always, and thank you for Shermanator. He doesn't have a channel just like Chief, but they are very heavy contributors to the community because they give us support. They see our content and they go to our channels and support us. So for that, they're still important no matter what. We don't do things for clickbait. We do things for the love of this passion of this hobby that we all share. You as a whole. So Chief, go ahead, say what you want to say. Your final thoughts and comments.
Well, I want to dedicate this podcast to my best friend, Mr. Markham. Rest in peace, Dre. I love you, man. And also want to thank I want to thank Mark Stock and Bill Spencer. I'd love to come in person, but I haven't had the chance. But if he can hear this, I want to thank him for everything he did, for giving me the time to hang out with him at E3. It's been a lot and everything. Microsoft's done.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Much love, bro.
Go ahead, take your time.
It just
Chief.
means a lot. But yeah, to Phil Spencer, for everything you've done, you're a great gentleman and good person. You know, I'm gonna always cherish the time I spent with him. And he's a true gamer, a legend. And I think we all learn to be a stronger person from knowing him.
That's right.
And I just want to continue loving video games in his honor. And yeah, that's all.
Right on, man.
That's right.
Right on.
And
man.
this is
Right
why,
on.
ladies
Right
and
on,
gentlemen,
Right on.
this is why, ladies and gentlemen, video games for
Right on.
me, and like I've told you guys in the past, is not just a hobby. Okay, like people like to label it, right? Video game is a doorway to a lot of different things in our lives, and to make connections with people all around the world that we perhaps never had an opportunity to meet otherwise, right? Chief is a perfect example. He met Merc through gaming, and he became his best friend. He became his best friend of all time.
Nice.
And he will always be his best friend. And I'm so grateful that I had an opportunity to become friends with him through Master Chief as well. The same way I feel so grateful to have become friends with people like Sega Man, like Sherman, like E-Rock, like 100, like, the New Legal, like, Megatron, and all these wonderful, wonderful individuals, and so many more that Ghost Rider and even J-Long. It's people that I don't even talk to anymore, but that I got the opportunity to meet and engage, because these are good people. These are not standard people, and they've become good friends. And personally, to me, they're family to me in that sense. So, Chief, thank you for sharing that, those thoughts with us. I know that you don't have to because they're yours, but because you did share them, they mean the world to me. And absolutely, I don't have a problem dedicating this podcast to Merc, because I love Merc very much. He was my friend too, and I miss him very much.
Yeah,
To be honest, you guys, the reason why me and Chief haven't really talked since everything's happened, because it's kind of been hard. It's kind of because he's missing. We're missing Merc, and he's a missing part of our circle and of the puzzle. So even when we go on a party chat, it doesn't feel the same, because it's an empty void that we gotta have to try to learn to fill it up again without his presence, and that's gonna take time. So guys, for you listening, thank you for joining, thank you for stopping by. Much love, much respect, and I hope you enjoyed the podcast. I hope you enjoyed the topic. I hope you enjoy all of our opinions and thoughts about XO. Looking forward to E3, looking forward for next year's XO. I'm glad to be back with We Got Next. Big shout outs to my co-host, like I said, New Legal. God bless you, brother, wherever you may be. I know you're on a business trip right now, and I hope you enjoy the show when you listen to it later. And again, guys, like always, Xbox for life, like a sickness that can't be cured. That's my saying, that's my slogan. Don't get triggered. It's all in gaming. Absolutely, Sega Man. It's all in gaming. It's all in good fun. I love each and every one of you guys here in the panel. Yeah, go ahead.
Say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I can't say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know Dre wants me to say right now. He wants everyone to know that Xbox gamers are alphas, and if you play on PlayStation, you're a beta.
That was his joke. Oh, you guys are terrible. We miss you, Dre. We definitely miss you, Dre. So, well, guys, that was great. Fantastic. Guys, see you in the next one. Bye bye. Much love.
It's
Keep it
funny.
gaming. Bye bye.
All right, brothers.